Hey, what's up YouTubers? Today I'm doing my week's review of the ANET A8 3D printer, because for someone who has never 3D printed before, I am really impressed, and I think it'd be really useful to get anyone up to speed. So, let's jump right into it. So the first thing I think we should talk about is price. I managed to pick mine up for about £130 from gearbest.com, which seems like where most people get them from, which isn't bad considering the same printer on Amazon is £200. Having said that, £130 is pretty impressive for a 3D printer. I first got it in a box about half a metre length, weighing around 9 kilograms or 20 pounds. And I knew for sure that this was going to be a DIY job, so I got straight into it. I opened it and it was split up into 3 compartments, all of which were pretty neatly arranged. There was only one problem, and that was, it didn't have a f***ing manual. With that in mind I went to the website, and to my delight they had videos to explain everything. Pretty in-depth step-by-step instructions that helped me get through the building process. So I set out all my parts in a nice and well-structured order and started building. Everything seemed to be going well and I was making some good progress until I hit another problem, which happened to be the backing plate of the structure. You see, things aren't allowed to be easy. I was missing quite a few holes from this one, as you can see from this online diagram. But this did not stop me. I was not waiting for a replacement part, so I decided to drill it myself, which wasn't ideal, but it worked, so who cares. I think with a printer like this, you could probably expect things like this to happen, but it's all a part of the learning process, and if you're not buying a printer like this to learn, you should probably just go ahead and spend 500 quid or more on a different printer that's already pre-assembled. I found by the end of the build process, I was completely comfortable with taking this printer to pieces, and anything that goes wrong in the future, I think I'd be fine with. And that's the point of a DIY printer. The wiring was a complete mess at the beginning, but the online videos helped a lot with routing the wires, and generally just making them look neat. Once that was done, it was time to switch it on. Now before you can do any prints, you have to level your bed. I'm not going to go into that much detail in this video, but there are loads of different videos online to help you with bed leveling. It's essentially getting the distance between the nozzle and the bed at 0.2mm at anywhere on the bed, which can usually be done with a piece of paper. Once all that was done, I could start my first print. This was a file that already came with the printer. As you can see, it started off pretty well, and I actually started making some real progress with it. But I had to stop it because it was taking too long, and this is because the settings weren't optimized for what I wanted, and fast printing time. But the end result wasn't too bad. You can see, however, that I had a few blemishes, but this was due to not having an optimized cooling fan. So that was my next print. I got the file from Thingiverse. If you want it, just type in ANET A8 cooling fan. So this didn't print too bad. The main objective was just to get a better cooling fan, which improved the quality of my prints dramatically. I would highly recommend that as a first print. The next major thing on my list was a Y tensioner. This can also be found on Thingiverse. I also went and got myself some spray paint, some primer, and wet and dry paper, just to try get the best finish that I could. The model consisted of 3 parts, which could all take advantage of the ANET A8 spare parts list. After a little bit of sanding, this was the final result. And as you can see on the printer, it looks pretty good and works really well. Another necessary mod I think should be implemented on this printer is a power switch. So I went ahead and bought one off Amazon, soldered it all up, and connected it straight to the power supply, instead of having just the wires under tension, because the last thing I want is for them to slip, and it allows easy access to switching it on and off. So overall, my conclusion for this budget 3D printer: for the price, I think it's a great starting point, with really good solid prints that are actually really strong. Despite having problems putting it together, I think it was a great learning experience and I'd highly recommend this to anyone. So yeah, overall I think this was one of the best ones out there. So I hope you enjoyed the review and got a good insight into what this printer is like to own. I might do another update video about a month in, depending on how good this video goes. So yeah, please like and subscribe for more content like this. See ya!